Yo, what is going on, guys? You all have been asking for it, so here I am to deliver the predictions for the upcoming 2025 July 4th deals. This year coming out on June 27th, and the name for and the theme for this event, is the Heat Wave, basically to tie into the Fantastic Force saga and Fantastic Four movie coming out, but mainly to milk the community for 7-star Human Torch. That is the whole idea, marketing strategy for Kabam with this event. Let's not kid ourselves, that's the truth. So I'm going to be talking about getting into the offers and all my predictions here, so I'll give you a quick sneak peek. Everything's blacked out right now, so no spoilers yet. Of course, you can skip ahead if you want, but we're going to be going through everything little by little, step by step. And just to give you guys an idea for the format that I'm predicting on, of course, and to get these predictions, I went back and I looked at what there was for Cyber Weekend 2024, the last big sale month 6 months ago. About half a year. The game changes quite a bit in that amount of time, though. And then also the previous year for July 4th, it was called the Sinister Sentinel Sideshow Sale. It's a mouthful. And so this is the way I'm predicting the unit deals, because it was weird, and this is the format they went with last year. If they change the format this year on me, well, then that sucks for me. But I predicted it with this in mind. In the past, it was like about 15,000 units. It started with like 1,000, and then 4,000, and then 10,000, and like that was it. And it was such a simpler time. And then they started introducing like, okay, well, if you spend 15,000 units, there's an extra deal at the end for like 3,000 units. So then it became like 18,000 units. But then they just kept getting greedier and greedier and greedier and trying to get as many units from you as they possibly can. So with this format, basically, if you want the tier 8, and that's going to obviously be the biggest, baddest, most stacked deal ever that we've ever seen in the game. It's going to be in this tier 8. To unlock that, though, you have to not only buy tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, you then have to go back and rebuy 1, 2, and 3. Then you unlock tier 8. So essentially you need to buy tier 3 twice to unlock tier 8. And to purchase tier 3 a second time, or any of them a second time, you need to first purchase tier 4. So that's how they're going to get you to spend a crap load of units. I'm pretty sure last year I went through this twice and picked it up twice, because I think I wanted the tier 8. So that's the format we're going to have in mind. We're going to start with that, and then we'll get to, the money deals and the Odins and all that. And I decided to, once again, just not mess with any of the relic stuff, especially because they have new relic stuff coming out. So I feel like it would just be a little confusing to try and guess whatever relic stuff they're planning for this. But just to give you a rough estimation, this is what the last relic deal looked like. It was 3 6-star Nexus relics, an Awakening gem, some SIGs, and a 2 to 3 gem. Okay, let's go ahead and now get into my predictions. Alright, so like I said, we're going to save the deals for money last. We're going to start with the units. So I should have it set up where I just hit the back button and it shows me what I want to show you. Yes, okay. So, tier 1. So it's going to be 750 units, and you're going to have 3 deals to choose from: A, B, and C. So it's only 750 units, and I'm thinking deal A could look something along the lines of some Titan shards, anywhere from around 2,000, 2,500 to maybe a max of like 5,000. 5,000 would be a lot of Titan shards for 750 units. That'd be a really good deal. And then I think just some Valiant Nexus crystals. I think we're going to see quite a few Valiant Nexus crystals over the course of this event. Yeah, so, nothing crazy. It's only 750 units. It's not supposed to be that good anyways. This would be pretty good, though. For that amount of time charts, that'd be pretty nice. And then I got deal B here. This is because there is a pretty sizable issue in the game right now, economy-wise, for catalysts. We all want to rank 3 and rank 4 are 7 stars, right? But if you just pull a new champ, let's say you pull 2 new champs, and you have the materials to get them to rank 4. Like, you have enough of the big catalysts, right? But still, to get them all the way, both of them, up to rank 4, it requires just so much tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha. It requires like 7, 8, 9 of those catalysts per rank. So like it just takes it's so easy to completely deplete your stash with one champion, let alone ranking up two champions, let alone taking up like 3 or 4 champions, which is exactly what happened to me, after my big Titan opening. When the Titan rolled over, I had like 4 or 5 new champs I want to rank up, but I so quickly ran out of these catalysts. So I think there's going to be quite a few throughout the entirety of the event, and I think one of the first offers here is going to be a prime time to sell them. So I think there could be anywhere from 5 to 8 of each catalyst, and again, if that's for 750 units, that's a great deal. And then also I think there could just be like one tier 4 alpha catalyst shoehorned in there, again for 750 units. That's an incredible deal. And then some 7-star shards. These could be here, they could not be here. Either way, I don't think they really increase the value of this deal all that much. 7-star shards have really gone down in value personally for me, the way I look at the economy and everything. So yeah, it's just like an extra thing I threw on there, probably not even needed, honestly. Maybe I'll just delete it, because I feel like that deal's already so good. It doesn't really need the shards either. Alright, and then deal C here. This one, if you really need T6CC or T5CC, this is a great deal for you. Also, throw in some Ascension Dust. I don't think I put Ascension Dust or like 6-star materials anywhere else in here. This was the only spot. Yeah, man, this deal is just like, if you really need selectors, an abundance of them, 750 units, you get a lot here, a lot of T5, a lot of T6, that all you get to select. So most people wouldn't pick this one up, but if your account really needed this, and you have to go through all these twice, to really unlock the final one, then I could see someone grabbing this once. But yeah, I think this deal is objectively the best value, but this deal is not bad if you want to open Titans and get those shards. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for tier 1, 750 units, just slow ramping it up. These ones are a little bit trickier to predict, but that's what I got. All right, let's move on now to tier 2. So for A in tier 2, this one is 3,000 units, so almost the price of an Odin, and I'm predicting here 2 of the 7-star Fantastic Force Saga crystals, which I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about if we go right here. And the reason why I'm predicting these is because that's exactly what the last year's bundle was looking for. I kind of tried to mirror last year's, but modernize it as much as possible to this year's, if that makes sense, with my predictions. So I could absolutely see there just being 2 straight up of these crystals exactly like this. This is at the end of the chain, or not at the end, but towards the end of the chain deal here. So yeah, I could see 2 of those, and the pool is decent as well. We can take a quick gander at the champion pool, because that really matters. So the standouts in here are Spider Woman. That's she's only in the Titan right now. Falcon Joaquin Torres. He's also only in the Titan. We got Count Nefaria. We got Scream, Superior Iron Man, Hyperion, Warlock, Omega Sentinel. Omega Sentinel's an interesting one because she's not really available too many other places. Arnim Zola, that's a really big one of the best in here. Bastion, I didn't even know Bastion was in here. Bastion, that's a big one. Diablo, Enchantress, Red Skull, and Rintra as well. So there's actually some pretty decent champions in here, man. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. The pool's better than I thought. I took a look at it earlier, but I didn't even realize some of the champs were in there that are, like Omega Sentinel. That's a cool one. So yeah, I can see there being about 2 of these crystals, whoopsie, for about 3,000 units, and then some Saga signature stones as well. And like, I could absolutely use some Saga signature stones for like my Zola, my Spider Woman, so this deal would actually maybe even tempt me. And then for B and C here, I have 2 7-star 1 to 2 rank up gems and 1 7-star Nexus crystal. So for 3,000 units, instead of going for some crystals, for the Saga crystals and the Saga 6 stones, you can instead just go for some guaranteed value in some rank up gems. You get 2 1 to 2 rank up gems, which again, it costs a lot of those tier 3 alpha and tier 6 basic catalysts on those early ranks. So 2 rank up gems and then a full 7-star Nexus. For 3,000 units, I probably wouldn't get that, but the value is somewhat there. Usually, like the second tier is usually some of the absolute worst value as well. That's just another thing to keep in mind, because you kind of have to get through this to get to the really good stuff. So it makes sense for these to be more lackluster. And then the C option I have here is some Awakening Gem shards, anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000. I'd probably say like 2,500, 3,000 is what I would be expecting, but an absolute cap of like 5k. And then some additional signature stones, but they're going to be in crystal form and only about 25. So there's going to be RNG involved in those. So that's what I'm thinking for the first two Tier 1 and Tier 2 bundles, A, B, and C for each. Now let's move on to the third tier. Things start to absolutely get better here. So for A, we have a fully formed, straight up Titan Crystal. Boom. This was in the last year's one. There's a Titan at this point. Then, and I think in the last one, there was like 5 Valiant Nexus crystals or something. So here I'm doubling it, dial it up to about 10 Valiant Nexus crystals. And then also, I think that was it for the last year's deal, but I also threw in here more Sig stones, about 20 to 30 generic 7-star signature stones. And again, this is for 7,500 units. You're getting a full Titan, some Valiant Nexus crystals, and a nice amount of generic signature stones. Alright, option B, we got 2 full Nexus 7-star class crystals, which I don't think we have seen yet in game. We've seen like the ability to choose your class crystal, but then you just have the 7-star class crystal. What I'm talking here is you choose the class crystal, then you open it, and then 3 champs pop out of that one and only class. So let's say you get a Science class Nexus crystal. You open up, there'll be 3 Science champions they have to be in the current base pool though. Have to still follow those rules. But yeah, you're getting 2 of them. So if there's really a champ that you're trying to target, this can absolutely be a pretty good way to do it. And then I wrote down anywhere from 3 to 5 Tier 4 Alpha Catalysts, because Alphas are another big deal right now when taking champs up. Like, it costs 3 of them to take a champ to rank 3, and then 4 of them for rank 4. So you can, again, run out of those extremely fast. So I think this is where I put a decent chunk of them. And then again, I threw in some more Awakening Gem shards here, anywhere from 3,000 to maybe 7.5k at an absolute max. And the kind of idea here is, if you picked some from the previous bundle, and then you got this, maybe get an Awakening Gem. Or, if you go through it the second time and pick it up a second time, then you get your Awakening Gem. Something to that effect. So that is the B deal. And then the C deal we got here is a Nexus Fantastic Force Saga 7-star crystal. So again, it's going to be that same crystal we were just talking about. However, it'll be a Nexus. So you'll get, again, 3 champs. So a pretty good chance of getting, Spider-Woman, Zola, the best possible chance from this crystal means. And then we also got some more Saga signature stones, about 50 of them, which is quite a bit. And then also an Epoch Nexus 7-star crystal. Again, some of these were a little bit tricky to predict, but yeah, that's what I got for A, B, and C for the 7,500 units. All right, now we're starting to get to the big stuff. So we have Tier 4 bundle next. So again, just to go over the format one more time, you need to go purchase, 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 and then this unlocks Tier 4 bundle. So boom, if you purchase the first 3 bundles, you will unlock Tier 4. With Tier 4, this guy is 6,750 units. And so buying it re-unlocks Tiers 1 through 3. So let's go over this. I'm thinking in here, 7-star Nexus 3 to 4 rank up gem. So you're going to get a choice, at least, 3 classes. I think that's fair, because, if it's just I don't think it should just be a random rank up gem at this point. If you spent this many units, gotten this far, there's probably, you have some preferred classes that you'd like to take to rank 4, so this will at least narrow it down to about 50%. Then we have, this is literally just the Nexus deal. Like, this might just be nicknamed a Nexus deal. So you got the 3 to 4 Nexus rank up gem. Then you have a Nexus Awakening Gem. This is big because Awakening Gem RNG sucks. It's really rough. So a Nexus, this is going to allow you, again, a 50% chance to narrow it down and at least guaranteed you not pick 2 classes that you absolutely do not want. So that's great. And then a Titan Nexus Crystal, but this one is like a little bit more special because there's 5 champs to pick from. This one is a little bit more of an outlandish prediction. I could see this deal being for real, just as a Nexus though. I don't think that they're gonna do 5 champs, but I would like it to be. I kind of just shoehorned this in when I was already done, because like it'd be cooler. It'd be cooler, and it would get more people to go through the deals. You know, like knowing that there's an extra 2 champs in that Titan Nexus, like that's a big deal to a lot of people. I think so. Yeah. So again, so now if you've gotten to this point, buying this, you buy this deal, you can't just unlock this one though. You need to go back and go purchase, purchase, purchase. You don't have to purchase this one again. I don't even think you have the ability to, because it'd be kind of nice if you could. But then you unlock this one. So what is tier 8? All right, for tier 8, and again, you must have purchased the 3rd bundle twice. So I'm thinking this is going to be the Big Daddy deal, the biggest, most awesomest, craziest deal that we've ever seen. 7-star generic 3 to 4 rank up gem. Boom. You get to take any champion on your roster to rank 4. Absolutely the highest rank in the game. Without a shadow of a doubt. Go for it. Boom. Rank 4 anyone. Straight up. And then also get that champion's signature level up. I'm thinking either 100 to 200 generic signature stones. Like enough to like basically sig 200 a champ. You take up any champion in the game you want to rank 4. And then you sig them up. Okay, but what if you don't have the champ that you want? Well, that's why I put in here a Titan Nexus Champion Selector. Now, what does that mean? That means when you open this up, every single champion in the current Titan pool is going to pop up. Boom, 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 boom. All 18 of them. And you straight up pick any one of the 18 in the current Titan Crystal at the time of you opening this selector up. Boom. You could also hold on to it and save it for when the next batch of Titan champions get added, and then boom, you can get yourself a new Nico on the day the Titan changes, you know? You could save it like that if you wanted to. I can't, like, if it's not this good, like, I can't imagine going through this a second time, spending all those units, unless it's something really cool. And I think a Titan Nexus Champ Selector is really, really cool and would be enough. Definitely for me to go through it twice to try to get this. I think like I would get this and I'd probably hold it. I'd like what I just said, hold it for like Nico or for whenever the next Titan changes and whoever's the best champ when it changes. That'd be a big baller strat. So yeah, man, that's what I have for the tier 8 bundle, the big bad bundle that you need to, you know, buy everything twice for. So a massive investment, so many units, you know. We're talking like 40k units after you buy this. Like that's so many units, man. So much units, because just this alone is well over 10,000 units. So double that if you're buying it all twice. That's over 20,000 units. Throw that on there. That's 26, 27, 28,000 units. And then you're buying that too. That's like 34, 36,000 units ballpark. I'm just doing mental math right now. So yeah, not quite 40k, but like 34 to 36,000 units to unlock and pick this up. That's how much we're talking. That's how much investment we're talking. So yes, this is a massive deal, a Titan Nexus Champ Selector, but you'd have to spend an exorbitant amount of units. Okay, that's all the unit stuff. All right, what about for the cold hard cash? You're dropping money on the game. What can we expect? Let's break it down. We'll start with the Peters Parker's wallet, of course. And for here, we got just $5, 135 units. And I'm thinking this is going to be the alpha and the basic deal. We already saw that exact format on the last 2 sales. To put it into perspective, you know, for last year's July deals, the Parker's wallet had one of the catalysts, and the Star Wars loot bag had the other one of the catalysts. So like basic and alpha. But then fast forward 6 months to Cyber Weekend, and Cyber Weekend, the Peters Parker wallet had both, but it was one of each. So I think they're going to follow that format. It's going to be a Tier 3 Alpha Catalyst, Tier 6 Basic Catalyst in the wallet, but it's going to be more than one. I'm thinking at least 2 with a chance of 3 of each of these catalysts per $5 pickup of the deal, you know. So that'd be a really good deal to just stock up on the Tier 3 Alpha, the Tier 6 Basic. And then I also threw in some Valiant Nexus crystals in there. Like I said, I think there's going to be a decent amount of these Valiant Nexuses floating around in the event, or unless they make like a unique crystal for the event or something, you know. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be Valiant Nexuses. So I could see that there. I feel like it's pretty likely for the Parker's wallet. All right, Star-Lord's loot bag. We got some Titan shards in there. I think for Cyber Weekend, it was about 1,000 Titan shards. So for this round, I'm predicting anywhere from, I think 2,000 is pretty reasonable, but it could be like 1,500. But I think the 2,000 is pretty reasonable, and with a maximum of like 3,000. I don't see them giving more than 3,000 Titan shards in a Star-Lord's loot bag. And then I think this, the wallet is going to have the basic materials, and then the loot bag is going to have the colorful catalyst. So the tier 5 class catalyst, the tier 6 class catalyst, and there's just going to be selectors, so you can stock up on whatever you may need. And then we get to the good stuff, the Tony Stark's briefcase. My prediction on this was really accurate last time around, and it's because like years ago they started doing this, and it's kind of become a tradition where they put in signature stones. That's kind of the focus of the Tony Stark's briefcase, with sig stones. So for Cyber Weekend, I believe it was 15 generic signature stones. So I think this time around they could just keep it at 15. That's absolutely possible. It should go up to at least 20, but they might keep it at 15. So I could see anywhere from 15 to 30 generic signature stones in the Tony Stark's briefcase, which would be a great deal. And then I could see, again, some more Titan shards. There might not be Titan shards if they put in more SIGs. It could be like a give and take type of deal, but I could see there being anywhere from like 3,000 to 5,000 Titan shards, even a little less if it was like 2,000, 2,500. It depends how much is in the loot bag, or if they're going to have Titan shards in both at all. But so I got written down. And then originally I had a 1 tier 4 alpha catalyst, or instead of that, I could also see it just being more Valiant Nexus crystals. I could see either one of those being pretty likely. If there's already Titan shards and a good amount of generic SIGs, it's less likely they'll be the tier 4 alpha, and more likely it'll just be Valiant Nexus crystals. Okay, we got 2 deals left, 2 last final things to reveal. All right, we got the Black Panther's treasure. Boom. So for this guy, I'm thinking quite a nice chunk of Titan shards. For Cyber Weekend, it was 10,000 Titan shards. That's already a lot. Like, I can't really see that going up much more. So my prediction here is 10,000 to about 12.5 thousand. I can't really see them going past 12.5 for a Black Panther. I don't know. I just can't really see it. It could, but. And then I'm thinking 7-star. Like the way this deal was built before, it was just chocked full of catalyst. Just so much catalyst. Tier 6 basic, tier 3 alpha, tier 6 class catalyst selectors, some tier 4 alpha catalyst. Like just chocked full of every catalyst type, so they could do that again. They could regurgitate that type of deal, chock full of catalysts, or they could just simply put in a rank up gem, which already contains, pretty much all those catalysts. So yeah, man, I could absolutely see it being a 7-star 2 to 3 class rank up gem crystal. There wasn't enough room here, but crystal, so it's going to be a random one. So it's going to be like 1 in 6 classes. And again, that's going to help to alleviate the tier 3 alpha and tier 6 basic catalyst problem in the community. That just, it takes so much of them. So this already comes with a bunch of them built into the gems. That's going to help. And then also there'll be a little bit of tier 7 basic fragments here. So my prediction, the number I'm going for is 15,750. It'll be pretty cool if I get the exact number correct. This number, where it comes from, is just 25% of a tier 7 basic catalyst. It's 63,000 fragments to form one. This is exactly 1/4, 25%. So I could see it being even less than that. I could see it being like half of this, like 7,000, and I could also seeing it being a little more. I don't see it being over 50%. I think 25% is kind of like the perfect number here, so that's what I went with. So that's the Black Panther's treasure, and this is really stacked. That's a lot of rank 3s in this deal. But I think it's possible. I think it's absolutely possible. It's either that, or they just chock it full of catalysts again. All right, but now we get to the Allfather's Odin vaults. So, boom. For the Odin, $100 US. So this one was a little tricky and a little tough. So I think absolutely, there's going to be a 7-star 3 to 4 rank up gem crystal. So it's going to probably be random. It could be Nexus based. So again, it's like 1 in 3. That's what we saw with the rank 2 to 3 gems on one of the last sales. So it could absolutely be Nexus. But I'm leaning towards it just being a random 1 in 6 class gem. Because, if you're getting the Odin like 4 times, that'd be 4 new rank 4s. That'd be pretty crazy. But I think the game is at the stage where we can see one rank 4 per Odin for an event like this. I think it's very likely, very possible. They could instead just do tier 7 basic catalysts, and it could be I think it would be at least 2. No way it's less than 2 per Odin. But I think it's pretty likely they're just going to do the rank 4 gems. We'll see. The difficult thing for me to predict here, though, was the crystal selector. So the last 2 times it's been a crystal selector, and it's actually the same thing both times, which should not be happening, because July deals to November deals, that's a big gap of time. The economy in the game ramps up exponentially. So one of the big chase rewards should not be the same like 6 months later for the big deals. That was a mistake by Kabam, in my opinion, on the last one. They should have changed it. And what it was just, I think it was 20,000 7-star shards, which is trash, or a class crystal, which is also kind of trash, honestly. This time, I think it could absolutely be a full Titan crystal, or a Nexus class crystal, which we already talked about earlier. We've never seen a Nexus class crystal, to my knowledge, to my recollection. It's always just been regular, stinky old class crystals, never Nexus based. If it was Nexus based, that would actually be good, and an actual reason to maybe choose one over a Titan. I mean, most people are going to pick Titan. It could also be a Titan Nexus, but I feel like, again, if you're buying 4 Odins, you're getting 4 3 to 4 gems, getting 4 Titan Nexus on top of that sounds like way too much. I don't think they're going to be Titan Nexus, but I do think just a straight up full Titan crystal is extremely possible and quite likely. But I wanted to put in the selector option because that's what they've had for the last 2 events like this. So I wanted to predict that as a possibility, of course. And then I wrote down some possible accompaniments because a Titan crystal or a possible Titan Nexus and a 3 to 4 gem, possible 3 to 4 gem Nexus crystals, that's already so much value in this Odin. You know, like, there's not too much budget for other stuff to go into this deal, in my prediction opinion here on what Kabam has done in the past. So I think there could be some accompaniments here. I think it could be some Sig Stones, you know, not an exorbitant amount, definitely less than 50. Or I could also just see some Awakening Gem shards. We got introduced to the whole Awakening Gem shards, I believe, on the last deal for Cyber Weekend, and it was 2,500 shards per Odin. So if you buy 4 Odins, that's an Awakening Gem. So could see something like that again? Absolutely. I would not be surprised. They could also just be something else that I wasn't thinking of that they could throw in here. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking. And of course, gold. There'll always be gold in every single one of these deals, but gold doesn't matter. So yeah, guys, that's it. That is all of the predictions. The tier 8 bundle, the tier 4 bundle, the Allfather Odin's Vault. Boom, that's it, man. So yeah. And again, just to go over it one more time, with the unit deals, you need to purchase all of the first 3 tier 1s through 3, then you purchase tier 4, then you have to go back, repurchase 1, 2, and 3, then you can unlock tier 8. And it's about like 35,000-ish units or so, something like that. It's a lot. So yeah, guys, that's my predictions. So for my plans for this event, you know, I only have 5,000 units right now, which is not a lot. It's really going to depend on the deals. Now, there is, of course, Human Torch, which we didn't talk about at all with these predictions. I don't know where or how they're going to be doing Human Torch. You know, they did say that there's going to be a web store track. So I did not include a web store track in my predictions. And they also said there's going to be an in-game unit event tracker. So maybe if you spend enough units, you can get Human Torch, and maybe if you spend enough money, you can also get Human Torch. There might be a way to get them through units and through money. I don't know. Again, all we can really refer to is this. So it says web store milestone track, and it says unit based offers with solo event. So the solo event Torch could be in there, and he could be in the web store milestone track. I think he's absolutely going to be in the web store milestone track. The question is, will he also be in the solo event? Hopefully he's in both, so that he is technically available to free-to-play players if you have the units, you know. But I'd say it's likely that he's just going to be for money. But yeah, guys, that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for my predictions. As far as my plans, you know, I do want Human Torch, but at this point in the game, like I don't know if a 7-star Human Torch is going to be that big of a difference maker. He is one of my favorite champs, but do I really want to spend, you know, like over $1,000 to get him? I don't know. I'm not sure. I really need to see all the rest of the deals. And if the rest of the deals are having me intrigued and I want to go in on that, and then I'd be getting Human Torch kind of like a cherry on top of my sundae, then maybe. We're going to have to see. I will definitely be live streaming this Friday the moment that the deals come out. So be on the lookout for that. Come hang out. We're going to be doing a live review and reaction to those deals the second that they drop. We will be live. And then, yeah. So subscribe to the channel if you like what you see and you want to see more content. Hit the little bell if you enjoyed the predictions. They have been pretty accurate in the past. I do like to think I have a little bit of observation hockey to predict these things. And then also hit the little bell if you want to be notified when I upload videos or when I start going live for streams, so you can come hang out and, you know, see the live reaction to all this stuff. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a great, wonderful day. Good luck. And always remember, spend responsibly with these types of events. All of the stuff that you can buy in these events become pretty much available in-game within like the next 6 months for just playing for free. And if you're doing content, you know, these types of events are just to get ahead by like 6 months, you know. So don't ever feel like you need to break the bank over it. It's absolutely not worth it. Don't affect your real life standings over anything in this game, man. I promise you it is not worth it. That's going to do it for this event, for this video. Predictions. Peace out, guys.